Well, Tom Cruise just turned 63 yesterday, and upon hearing the news that Benson Boone did 23 backflips to celebrate his 23rd birthday, Tom Cruise said, I'll do the same thing, but 63 of them. So Tom Cruise, happy birthday yesterday, and good luck doing all of those flips. Now, this is Turtle Time. My name is Riley Hamilton, and I'm joined by Amy Scarlata to continue doing the rest of the episode.
Do you think someone sends him a coconut cake?
Oh, that's so sweet. That's like Pagliacci the clown. You know do you know what I'm talking about? Well, when Pagliacci the clown, you've heard this. This man goes into a therapist's office, and you've heard this. And he goes in and he goes, "I'm so depressed. I hate myself. I want to die. Life isn't worth living." The therapist goes, "You could do a bunch of stuff, but really what gets me going is going to see this really amazing clown that's in the piazza in the middle of town. You got to go see him. He cheers up almost everyone." And then unfortunately the client says, "Well, I am Pagliacci." So it's like, meaning, it kind of...
He doesn't get the benefit.
So, yeah, unfortunately, he happens to be Pagliacci, so he can't get that sort of that advice from the therapist. So, anyway, to me, that what you said reminded me of that sort of Pagliacci story, because he gets them for everyone.
Yeah.
These coconut vanilla, I think, cakes. But who will give them for Tom Cruise? He might think that he's such a gift-giving guy that maybe nobody ever thinks about him on this day.
When you get the man who has everything.
It's true. You got to get him like total, it's like Citizen Kane territory, like Rosebud. You got to know that he, like when he was living in, I forget where he's from, Phoenix, Arizona as a little kid, and like he lost some skateboard down a sewer or something, and then maybe you could be the one who got him like a cool skateboard or something. But that's for his cousin. You remember his cousin, the guy who's in the bedroom? I forget, he has a different last name, but he would know the secret to what Tom Cruise truly wants in his life, for the man who has everything. But you and I, if we were getting a gift for Tom Cruise, I'd have nowhere to I wouldn't know where to start.
I know. He got the girl that plays the like killer like mime assassin in the like last two
of course
movie Mission Impossibles. She was like, Tom, I really want to learn how to skydive. Can you send me your info for like the guy that you like or whatever? And he was like, just you hold on. And he got her like he paid for her like whole certification. She got to go like 20 times. He like took her himself, and now she's obsessed with skydiving.
Holy shit. He goes, you just asked me the best question of my life. I love doing all this shit towards skydiving for you. I just heard an interesting Tom Cruise anecdote in this book I'm reading. Who is Michael Ovitz? It's this autobiography of Michael Ovitz, the founder of CAA. And he said that Tom Cruise, they were trying to deal with this Scientology shit in Tom Cruise's life. They were like, hey, please don't talk about this kind of stuff. We like Tom Cruise and what he's doing, but he can't talk about Scientology. And then Michael Ovitz found out that on the set of War of the Worlds, I think this has already been public knowledge, but he was setting up those big booths, Scientology booths for the entire crew on Steven Spielberg's set. And Steven Spielberg was probably like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't have these big Scientology booths for my crew members.
That was like exactly when he went insane, right?
Couch jump.
Like 2005, right?
Oh, you might be right.
That's like prime time.
Oh my! I gotta look at his trajectory, because then he got saved completely by when he did that Tropic Thunder thing. We all know this. He had a bunch of comedians come to his house, and he said, "You guys got to rehabilitate my career. I look like a complete weirdo out there." Yeah. No offense to him. And then they settled on Ben Stiller, whatever that guy's name is, Grossman.
Oh yeah,
and then everyone said, "I want more of this, please." And then Tom Cruise is completely.
I just read a Michael Cera thing where he said that he was on set. Is he in that movie, or was he just like friends with everybody? I don't know, but
I don't think he's in it.
He's like, he was off to the side talking to the writer, and which I don't know if that means Justin Theroux or if it's written by multiple people, but that. They were like whispering during a take, and Tom Cruise as Les Grossman was like, is that fucking Michael Cera chatting during, but he did it like in character.
Whoa.
Like he was joking, but he like wasn't.
Oh my God. It was a perfect outlet for him to be that screaming guy that he wants to be, a tyrant on set, telling everybody the magic of movie making, so shut up. And he got to be in character doing that. Wow.
Yeah. I've always found it uncanny that I think he looks exactly like Bobby Zarin in that.
Oh my God. Oh, I never thought about that. I've never talked about Lev Grossman or whatever his name is, Les Grossman, and then thought about Bobby. But oh my God.
They look the same.
They totally do. Well, okay. Well, I'm glad we started out with that news. It's always, good to talk about that first. And then we've got great news to start with before we talk about horrible, horrible news. First of all, congratulations to Madison from Southern Charm. Madison just had a baby right as we were recording. I think it was like 5 minutes before. A baby girl named Teddy. That's wonderful news. A lot of new babies in the Bravo universe. What Seriously, a wonderful time.
The NextGen NYC cast 2050.
Yeah, what's it now? Oh yeah. Perfect. 2050, around when they're around 25 years old. Anything more to say about when a baby comes into the world? Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. I saw on TikTok a few days ago, I think, that she had, trigger warning, lost her mucus plug.
Oh.
And so she was wondering if it would be any day. So I think she was early because she, I think technically had like weeks to go, but yeah.
All right. Wow. I didn't know she lost her mucus plug. But
that's the news of the day.
That's great. Hudson will be happy. Hudson was kind of running around saying, I'm an only child. I love all this attention I'm getting. But Hudson, if I remember correctly, he goes, I do want a baby sibling, someday. So that's going to be very fun for Hudson. He's a decent age gap there, 10 years or something. So maybe he'll really be able to help
Same
out
as my
and appreciate.
Sister.
Oh, wow.
We're 9 years apart. She also made her husband do the mamacita sound in the hospital room. She was like, I'm a mommy. Mamacita.
Oh my! Wow! Oh, we were just speaking of
like
that
wildfire.
Trend. Wow! I just learned what that trend was from you 2 episodes ago. I think. Oh, that's amazing. Well, good. Well, congrats to Madison. I'm so proud of you both. I'm so happy for your entire family. Brett, who's healthy again. His name is Brett.
Yeah.
Brett, I love Brett. Yeah. So wonderful news, and then we've got everything in this news segment. I was gonna start this by saying I feel like Wolf Blitzer and you again because the Situation Room is packed with news. So we've got congratulations, happy news, birthday news, scandalous news, and then we got something where I'm gonna rant about how horrible the world is. So let's go from this meter to scandalous.
Okay.
A big excerpt from Sheena Shay's memoir called My Good Side? My Good Side. I'm almost positive that's what her memoir is called. They released the chapter about Eddie Cibrian, and it's all about how Sheena met Eddie and how she didn't know that he was married and that she was working in this like high rollers cigar club. Did you hear about this or see this at all?
I read the part about Jesse Metcalfe.
Oh, right. Yeah, Jesse Metcalfe was going through a tough time, and she was kind of dating Jesse Metcalfe on and off with Eddie. But Eddie used to come into this cigar lounge. Sheena said that this cigar lounge had like people that you'd never believe. Michael Ovitz.
Club Random.
What's that mean?
I'm just kidding.
What does that mean?
That's the Bill Maher podcast.
Oh.
Smoke cigars.
I was like, for sure it has a Club Random vibe. I'm sure he was trying to almost make sort of this cigar lounge as part of the aesthetics of Club Random, but it was anyone you could think of. Michael Ovitz, and then Eddie. This guy would come in, and then she said that the minute she saw this guy walk in, they locked eyes, and he wasn't wearing a wedding ring, pulling a full-blown Jason Caperna.
Oh, wow.
And she goes, we didn't have the internet back then. I had a Palm Trio, which didn't have internet. I don't Google anybody except, and I didn't even know what this guy acted in, which, kind of shots fired at Eddie's career. I mean, wouldn't know what the hell he'd ever acted in either.
I still don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not giving her the full benefit of the doubt, which is that she said, how on earth would I have ever known that he was married? But when she started to put into context of 2006 or whenever, I don't know when this was, oh my God, when Tom Cruise was having his kind of meltdown around that era, she just said, listen to all these excuses for why I might not have known, but also my why she might have had one eye shut and one eye open during this entire time. But then a couple guys at the cigar lounge, I think Bill Maher, Mike Ovitz, I think they pulled her aside and they said, Sheena, you got to know this now that you and Jesse Metcalf are sort of on the ice and you're going back to Eddie, you need to know that he has a wife. And then that's when she goes, Eddie, let me talk to you right now. Do you have a wife? And he still continued to lie to her. And then she made a bunch of excuses why she never saw his home either. It's a lot of technology excuses. He lived in Calabasas. There was no such thing as Uber back then.
Yeah.
So a full litany of rationale to get us to the place where how Eddie deceived her for the most part, and when she finally confronted him, and then I think that's where the chapter ends. But I was like, well, damn, I mean, I'm going to read that memoir no matter what. But I like that she kind of like dove into that a little bit.
Totally. No, I read it. For some reason, Drunk Drawn, the artist, posted an excerpt. I don't know if they were just excited about it or if that they were told to, but I read it on their Instagram stories, and I was like, I will totally read this.
Good. Yeah, I can't wait. I think I'm almost 100% positive it's called My Good Side. I'm going to look for one. Well, no, I don't have to. We know it is, right?
Pretty sure. If that little turtle cutie is listening who works at the publisher, will you comment on this video or this post and tell us that we can have it?
Yeah, I would love to have all the exclusive scoops and then tease them, throughout the next couple months.
Yeah,
it is called My Good Side. So, nice. All right, so Tom Cruise news. What did I say? What was next? Congratulatory news, scandalous news. Now, Riley rant, tirade.
Okay.
You and I read this right before we started recording. Janet and Jason have fled out of the country. Jason and Janet Caperna. Daily Mail put that context in this, so I'm not making light of this. Daily Mail said that Janet and Jason have fled to Europe, and she's made her account private because of all of the hateful comments. I mean, hateful is like a nice way to put it. Hateful comments that have been delivered, a steady stream of them during Valley Season 2. And Janet gave an interview to Daily Mail talking about how this is the absolute worst part of being a reality television star, why she doesn't appreciate it, and just overall, gave Daily Mail sort of access to what she gets on a daily basis. And I think you and I have a slight difference of opinion on this, just a little bit. But I looked at some of these messages, and I'm just saying, as a human, as myself, I can't even read a message. Someone commented and said, like, I don't like any movies. This guy sucks. He doesn't like any movies. And I'll think about that for the rest of my life. I couldn't stand a negative, even a kernel of negativity towards me. It makes me, I would think about it for years. Yeah. So then imagine you're Janet and you're getting, I hope you go die and drown in a sewer, you ugly witch. I want to put a Sicilian curse on you. May you die now. Can you and Janet can you and your husband get killed in a helicopter crash already? I mean, this is like, they're way worse than even that. They are horrific.
Wow, not the curse from the old country.
Can you die a slow and painful death? I know where you live. I know where you sleep. When I see your son playing outside, I will find him. It's like, it is.
People are fucking insane.
It is insane. I mean, horrible. Yeah. Never in my life, ever would I think that Janet, for what she's done in the Bravo universe, deserves even one purple demon emoji in her comments. Like, nothing warrants this.
Lisa Vanderpump, you're not important enough to hate.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, there's a different school of thought, which is just ignore it and shut it all out. And there's always going to be insane people waiting for you, and so just shut it all off. And maybe there's nothing we can do about it. But I have to plead to anyone in the world to just say that there is nothing ever that has happened in the Bravo universe, especially Janet. What she has done, the villainy that she's contributed to is like a 1 out of 10 on the scale of horrible ethical behavior. And there should never be a comment like this ever that she has to see. It is way too far, disturbing, sickening, and so hateful and evil. So I just want to say, I don't think that she fled to Europe to escape the hate, and that's
why the headline's funny.
Yes, that's ludicrous. And
it's the 4th of July weekend.
Yes, she went on a trip. I understand. She went private because you don't want people commenting, weird emojis or saying like, I hate you so much. I hope your trip sucks. That kind of stuff it would bother me too. And people will say, well, you're on reality television. But I still think there's a playful way to be mean-spirited if you even have to say something mean to someone. But this like fucking... evil, hateful shit that are in her like requests or whatever, saying like, I'm watching you right now. Don't look out your window because I'm there waiting for you. It's like, that's so scary and horrible. Yeah. And whatever part of the Bravo fan base that is needs to be checked into a mental asylum for the rest of their lives. And I don't even think anonymity. Go to RHOM, and I don't think anonymity should save you. I think that they should be like, have you ever messaged someone and said, I hope you die in a sewer? Well, we're adding a profile picture and putting your name on your account if you've ever said something like that to a celebrity or anyone notable. It's really I
agree. My point was that I'm pretty sure that almost everyone on every show that's ever aired gets those. Okay. Is all I was saying. And I'm not saying it's good. And like Andy even said, I forget who he was talking to, but at one point he was like, that's the worst part of the job by far is the shit that people say. It's like horrendous.
Well, it sounds kind of bad. Like it kind of sounds like it's like it's a bad part of the job that for some reason people are wishing death upon you for your actions on a reality television show.
I brought it up like 2 weeks ago that Love Island had to put a full-on disclaimer and have Ariana say into camera, like, these are real people with feelings. Please watch what you write. And then like Sandoval, everyone was worried he was going to die because of how incessant it was. It was so bad. It's not, I'm just saying it's not a first, but it's almost the fact that it's for her when it's like the most low level. Like Scandal was way too much, and we said it at the time. We're like, everyone needs to absolutely fucking relax. But you understand the visceral response to the action that happened, or maybe someone like Jax or something. But Janet, it's just like, she's just like annoying. She's like a wet blanket. Like I can't imagine having that much ire.
I know. Those are my thoughts exactly. I'm like, Janet, I mean, like you and I are like, moderately critical of her actions and strategy, but could you imagine hating her so much that you wish death upon her? And so just kind of a turtle time creed, please. Just like, I don't know. I don't think anybody who listens to Turtle Time would ever be in someone's DM saying, I'm going to kill you while you sleep or something. Yeah. I would hope not, but I just can't even imagine that there's a contingent of the Bravo fan base that engages in that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's not good.
All right. I wish I had positive news. Tom Cruise turned 63 yesterday, so let's wish him a happy birthday. Any other news? I'm sorry. I should have structured it so maybe we talked about horrible stuff first. And then,
like right before this, I watched the Valley After Show. I'm trying to think of if there are any funny tidbits. There was like... I feel like Brittany really really wanted to go fishing.
I heard that there was some excuse I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm so sorry, everyone, but it just couldn't work for my life. But I heard that Luke gave an excuse for why he didn't tell Brittany because he thought that she was going to tell everyone around town or something that this was happening, right? Couldn't keep the secret. She thought
that Jax could manipulate her into telling him.
Whoa.
And because she was like, she's still in his pocket. Like, he can still make her do stuff.
Wow, so that's why.
Kind of dark, yeah. And then they were talking about, I think, just more of the Kristen on the boat stuff where she was apparently, she was doing her NFL draft on the boat.
That's so funny. I wish they would have kept that in. That's amazing.
She was like very stressed about it. She was like, I need to do it. Like, I need to do it right now. And I guess that's what she was doing when she was sitting on the ring. Like, she was like doing her draft that she takes very seriously. Like, when they took the trip, she was like, well, one of the days I'm gonna have to do my draft.
Wait, so I mean that really allows for the reality that she had no clue that this was going to happen on this boat trip. Like, I mean, if you're doing the NFL draft, she was not suspicious at all that Luke was about to propose.
And apparently she was like searching for a drink, and she was like, maybe I'll have a White Claw. And then she discovered a bottle of champagne, and she was like, perfect, let's open this. And they were all like, no. They were like, you can't have it.
That's all a lot of fun stuff that they could have added to the scene.
I mean, more shenanigans.
Yeah, that's great. Anything else? Any notable Jax moments? Did he say anything? I mean, I guess he doesn't really have to respond to anything.
Yeah, Jax, it was really only he was commiserating with Jesse, who they were talking about the Father's Day post, and Jax was like, I don't know how you could handle that. Like, I would go insane.
We know. Yeah, you definitely would. I mean, thank God that didn't happen. Oh my God.
And Jesse talked about like all of his concussions, including one time that he was showing Michelle his like rave moves. Like, he was like doing like a rave dance. And then she says he was trying to do the worm, which she pronounced warm. And then he said he was trying to do like a yoga pose, and he fell and hit his head on their glass coffee table, and it slit his scalp open like across the top, and there was just blood raining down upon him. And it was 2 weeks before their wedding, and he had to get 14 staples on his scalp.
Holy shit. Him and Michelle were just dancing in their living room together. He decided to show off the worm, and he crashed his head into their glass table and had to get stitches. This sounds like, wasn't their whole relationship in like COVID?
Yeah.
So maybe that was total
behavior.
COVID. Let's have a dance off in the living room and put on some YouTube music videos or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that like the fire department came in, the music was still on. It was like, oons, oons, oons.
Oh my God. Okay, well, good. I'll of course watch that someday. But thank you so much for recapping, what happened on the Valley, and for bringing up the mood, after what I did. Okay, you and I think agree that maybe this was a little bit of a frivolous episode of Miami that we have to recap. Are you okay transitioning towards Miami?
Let's head to Miami.
These episodes that we're doing that are Miami centric are like dead upon arrival. I think that, we'll figure out what to do, in the future, but we have OC coming up soon. But I just think that, it's a testament that, maybe Miami is not as popular as some of the other franchises. But anyway, we're going to, treat Miami a little bit like, talk about it pretty high level. I think.
Because OC's next week. So
you were just kind of wading in the water until we get to OC, which we know that everybody loves. And we're going to talk about NextGen NYC coming up here soon, too, because both Amy and I are almost caught up, and we feel like it's worth talking about. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it's so good.
I just saw, I think Ariana was on Watch What Happens with Phaedra, and I just saw a clip, but she said that her and Riley are BFF, and on the show they showed a clip of them together from like, I don't know, more than 10 years ago, probably 15 years ago, and it was like the cutest thing I've ever seen. It was when they were like 8 years old, and like they were just like these little like chubby cute girls that were so dorky, so it's like so weird seeing them now, like they're all like NYC glam.
Yeah. Oh no, it's amazing. I mean, I think that the casting that they did for that show is perfect. I mean, the non-Bravo people that they got in the mix with the actual Bravo NextGen NYC people. First of all the choices for the Bravo children are amazing, I think, and work well together. And then I love the other people that they brought in. I forget, Georgia, Charlie, all those people are great too. So it's like, I don't know, it's almost a perfect cast in my opinion. So
did we talk about the scene where Teresa sees a cameraman that she recognizes, and she's like, hey!
I love it. They're also doing very light fourth wall breaks. Like, Charlie breaks the fourth wall all of the time. He talks about cameras. He says what his dad won't want to see, hopefully, whenever it airs. Like, there's some great... It's really well done and well edited, too. I mean, I'm very proud of them. I almost, like... I instantly was like, this is so much better than Southern Hospitality or Roni by far. Like they got something there. Riley is amazing on the show. Ariana too. Like I'm proud of them all. So we'll add that to our commentary at some point. But let's talk about this episode of Miami. This was not as bad as last week's episode. I thought it was a huge step up. But overall, I don't think anything really rose to being like, amazing. And a lot of it was introducing a new cast member, Stephanie. I would say like half of the episode was dedicated to introducing her. But I do think that Lisa had some of the most iconic moments in Housewives history in this episode, which we'll talk about. There is some stuff that I've never seen in my life that Lisa does. Starts out kind of amazing, in my opinion. Julia has gone back to the opera well. One of her fan favorite moments. She's decided to continue her opera journey, and it starts with her talking to this opera man who I think is my new favorite supporting cast member in the Bravo universe. I loved this guy. He had sort of a Phantom of the Opera-esque ethos. He was so fun. He would say things and then he would do piano music to accompany what he was saying. I could see hours of that footage, and she's Julia's singing, and she's going, ah, and he goes, I sense something is wrong within how you're doing that opera note. And she immediately breaks down and starts crying because Julia is so embarrassed by what she did with that fake, shitty, lame water throw. She can't even tell this opera man that she let the water loose from her hands. She goes, at one point, she's crying. She goes, I'm sorry, I'm just not doing good today. I'm not in a good mood. Gertie made me so mad that water unleashed from my hands upon her. And the opera man goes, oh my God, that's horrible. And she goes, I know, it's so bad or whatever. And then at one point, he's trying to pick her up to get her happy again and sing opera better. And he goes, use it in the music. He goes, you can't let those notes just strangle you. You got to let them loose. And he goes, singing is just controlled singing. So let loose right now, Julia.
Screaming.
Oh, sorry. He says, I'm so sorry. He says, I'm sorry. It was so profound that I can't even wrap my head around it. He goes, singing is just controlled screaming. So let loose and scream towards the heavens, Julia. And she starts doing this beautiful operatic singing. And then he goes, scare me, Julia. Scare me. And she goes, ah! And he goes, oh my God, you just scared me to death. That was perfect, Julia. I thought it was such a fun, wonderful scene between them.
I watched an interview with Angelina Jolie when she played Maria Callas in that movie. Like, I think it was that this year?
Whoa, I don't know.
Anyways, that like Pablo Larraín movie. And she learned how to opera sing, even though I think they they did a thing where they used the original vocals, but they sort of spliced her in. So it was like a mix of both so that she was actually singing, but the real voice was like protecting her voice over top,
Wow.
But she was like, everyone should learn how to opera sing. It is so powerful. Like she said that it's like expressing emotions on a level you could never understand otherwise.
I agree. I mean, I would love to learn opera singing, and I like opera. I think it's so beautiful. But I felt like Julia was purposefully doing fan service to say, what do I do damage control wise? Because I just did one of the most heinous acts in Bravo history to a surviving cancer person in recovery. It was unearned, lame, like all these things we talked about. So I need to talk about opera really quickly to remind Bravo fans that I had one iconic moment that everybody loved. And that's what this felt like to me. I'm very happy, though, that Julia reconciled this properly. Mm-hmm. It was horrible, and it looks like it was like a week of damage control where she was talking to all the other cast members. All the other cast members says, that was awful, what were you thinking? Marisol goes, I hated it, that sucked. And so Julia is having a breakdown because she knows that the reaction to that horrible fake moment was very bad. And Gertie gets to run as I don't care if Gertie milks this for the rest of her life. I think that whatever Gertie does with this, being thrown, having water dumped on you in that moment, I think Gertie should run with this forever. Julia deserves it. Like, this is Gertie's moment to run with. So I was fine with how Gertie talks about this event for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. I feel like she wasn't in too much.
I think she raced to New York. I like when she was we'll talk about it. I like when she was decorating her room with Halloween stuff. The Miami taglines really quick, because it goes to Julia's opera singing, and then it was like, we have to show that first, and then it just does their taglines. I don't know if you heard this on your end, but it sounds like all of their taglines were like recorded in a bathroom. Did you notice that?
I didn't. I didn't see them. I saw them online, but I didn't see them play. Maybe because I watched on Peacock, it didn't show them, or I accidentally skipped them. I don't know.
There's some trouble with it. I don't know. Let me know, Little Turtle Cuties or Villa Rosa VIPs. But I went back and listened to it, and it sounds like they had to like get them all on the fly, and everyone went into like a toilet or an echo chamber or something, because they sound really bad audio quality, and they're all pretty bad.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite or a least favorite?
Least favorite, obviously, is Julia's. My chicken coop is full, and now so is my house. That one is just like, they were just like, I don't know. They wrote them like in 1 hour. I remember the chicken coop, and now that's full, and she's got 2 kids. There's no notable ones. Alexia is again about being a doll. I'm a doll, but don't play with me. Sort of like Dorit, I think, had one like that. I don't remember one standout to be fully honest, but none struck me as being good.
Okay. But yeah, Gertie is decking out her entire house. So we are to understand that this is Halloween time.
I thought it was just not. And she was doing, no, I think you're probably right. Gertie goes, this gives me so much joy. This is what I love to do, decorating. And she goes, one of my sons is going to love this. And the stuff that she's putting around the house, did you see some of this? It was almost like, I thought it bordered on almost too scary. Skeletons.
She was like, skeletons and skulls, your favorite.
Yeah, because I think Liam is one of her son's names. He loves, I guess, Halloween. But there were scorpions there. There was a big raven. There was a Chucky doll in the corner. And then I felt kind of bad because the reaction was a little limp from both boys and from her husband. They didn't really like that. Just their dining room. Her
husband never gives energy. He never has.
No.
Like sometimes I'm like, does he like her?
There's a little bit of that. Gertie is, I don't know what is the right way to say it. Gertie is, what's like a nice way to say like embarrassing?
Yeah.
She's just like kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I like Gertie
sometimes
well enough.
Just like I don't want to call it desperation, but it's like she's providing 100% of the energy in the relationship. Like she's always like, come on, like this is what we're going to do. Like just be with me here, blah, 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 blah. And he's always like silent.
Yeah, I think it's just like a little, maybe sometimes he just seems very low energy, and she has to like counter that energy or something. That was definitely apparent in this scene when the kids gave no reaction. She was like, aren't you just happy for me that I'm happy? It's like, oh my God, I feel so bad that she has to like pull energy from her family to give it to her, and she's been through so much.
I know.
She is such a like I have so much sympathy for Gertie, and I had all the sympathy in the world when Julia treated her that way, but I just think that there's still something, just a entertaining personality that unfortunately these shows require, that Gertie for me is lacking, and there's really nothing you can do about it. It's just a compelling personality, and I completely understand where she's coming from, how it relates to Julia as she gets into this.
Yeah. I also have to get this off my chest. I know you won't have an opinion, but I think she tried to, because now she's rocking the, bald look, which is great, but she started dressing differently, I think, to try and like, work with that. And she is dressing so badly. Her confessional look looks like it's from like a raver like brand that you buy for like Electric Daisy Carnival. Like it looks so cheap. In the preview for next week, she's wearing like a fishnet shirt, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Because she used to look good. Like she would dress like Miami. Like I was always like, oh, like she dresses well, like in the Miami style. And ever since Like this past season, I'm like, every time she's on camera, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. I think for her, so there's some like approximation of what a traditional housewife in this type of environment does and wears, and I always feel like Gertie is just slightly like out of her depth or trying a little too hard, and it's sad, and I feel bad that that's the case, but it just seems like it is. And then
because the new woman dresses well. Like, I'm excited to have her in the mix, but go on.
Yeah, no, totally. You know, they gave Stephanie, like, a lot of time. They were, like, happy with her. Like, the episode was dedicated. I think so. Yeah, I think so, too. A lot of new energy. I mean, she kind of just came out, and it was just like, oh, okay, you meet all of the requirements. Like, you have a huge personality. You're fun. The wealth is obviously, like, extravagant. So a lot of good things to start with for Stephanie. Gertie does say to her husband, she says, you know, this, like, I have been dealing with this horrible stuff, as you know. And that's when the husband goes, I can't even begin to picture how horrible that was. He goes, that big, tall woman, as big and tall as she is, standing over you, what a sight that would have been. I can't even think.
That 50-foot woman towering above.
And he also says something which I think is true. He goes, the lack of self-awareness of them of her to pour water and everyone to not take your side after you are recovering from what you've been recovering from is really so awful of them. And Gertie agrees with that completely. She's breaking down as she talks about this.
Yeah, I do feel like they haven't celebrated her triumph very much, if at all.
I think that she wanted to move past that storyline, given that it was, so central to her journey last season. And so I think that at the start of this season, she did try to move away. And she said, I think in a confessional, I don't even want to mention that word again. So this is sort of a post cancer Gertie, but I think that she still has to reference it sometimes when it just comes up naturally. And I think this was an occasion where the husband just had to say, like, do they just know what you went through, but they still are pouring water on you? Like, how insensitive can a person actually be? So it just got brought up kind of naturally. At the same time, Martina and Julia go shopping. And again, Julia is telling Martina, she goes, I'm sorry, Martina, I know what you heard that I did to Gertie. I had no right to ever make someone wet like that. And it's true. She had no right.
You had no right to make me wet.
And it's again, it's just Julia letting everyone know, everyone in the world, that she apologizes for this. She doesn't like it at all. And she says that I was so beguiled by the fact that Gertie brought up that facelift story of me going to New York. And she brought up my opera singing at one point. She was really picking apart my life. And so I had to respond by getting her wet as hell with a full glass of water.
Yeah. That is kind of, I feel like it got swept under the rug a little bit. I feel like that's Housewives canon, like quotable of, you went to get a facelift while your wife was getting chemo. Like, that's a great, like, accusation.
Oh, totally. And Martina goes, she didn't know. She goes, that sounds like a perfect accusation that anyone could lob at you, but she didn't know that I was happy that you went to New York while I was doing chemo, and I knew you would fly back after your facelift if I needed anything. So Martina acknowledges that was a true story that happened.
Yeah. I'm also so naive. I was like, she looks so good. Like, when she came back in between seasons, I was like, she lost some weight. I was like, she looks so refreshed. She looks amazing. Like, what a makeover. And I'm like, oh, she got a fucking facelift. That's why.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was kind of glad that Julia didn't try to disabuse us of that knowledge. Yeah. It was true. But Julia says, well, not only do I forgive in a way, or I apologize, but I want Gertie to come to our big baby shower that Adriana is throwing for me. And then they call Adriana about it. And Martina goes, I've only been to 3 baby showers in my life. They all sucked. They were horrible. So you better make this one fun. And then Adriana says, get ready to eat poop out of a diaper. which I thought was this is one of the games that they're going to play, but I didn't know what that was referencing until I saw it.
Right. I think also Julia said that they don't do baby showers in Europe or Russia. Yeah. So it's not a thing to her, but they're common here.
I mean, I kind of was just like, I was offended because I was personally offended because I was just like, I mean, you don't know of the concept of having a party for someone that's about to have a baby. It seems like one of the most common things in the world that you would do. I'm sure you don't have an equivalent. She goes, shower baby? What? You put a baby in a shower? It's like, it's not that hard of a concept. Maybe the name is kind of unique and singular, but it's a party for someone having a baby.
Yes. Okay, so there's a montage of her having had apologized. She texted Gertie, but she hasn't heard back. It was like a really long text. We get more of Gertie being upset to her husband, saying that she was violated, that Julia did that in front of the other girls for their entertainment, and that it was a physical, symbolic attack meant to degrade her. So she's like super upset about it.
I am normally kind of cautious with, hyperbolic language, and I would like try to refute in a way to defend Julia. But as Gertie was talking about that and saying these words, I was like, I completely accept your version of this. I felt violated watching Gertie dripping in water for no reason at that party in front of everyone. And the fact that Gertie had to stand there and not leave soaking wet, I was like, I felt like it was absolutely repulsive to me what Julia did. So I understand why Gertie is talking about it this way. I felt the same way as Gertie did. So that's kind of Gertie's stance. And then I think that's the end of Gertie. She decorated her dining room with Halloween decorations. She talks to her husband about how degrading this was. And then she flies to New York, and she's not with us for the rest of the episode. Yeah. But then enter Stephanie, new housewife, new cast member.
Yeah. Immediately on a private jet. She's friends with Larsa. Apparently they met through Caroline Stanbury, who was on Ladies of London and Housewives of Dubai. And so she's like, come with me. Where they were flying to Orlando?
Miami to Orlando to pick up a bunch of dogs. One dog, two dogs, some of Stephanie's dogs.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, look at me. You drive to pick up dogs. One would possibly drive or take the bus, but look at me. I take a big jet, and Larsa's there getting to participate in this extravagant trip. And then Stephanie, that's kind of when Stephanie talks about who she is and what the hell she's doing.
Yeah, she says her husband owns the third largest real estate development company in South Florida. She was talking about building some like huge tower. They're just super rich. She says later there's a 25-year age difference between her and her husband. She's getting filled in. Larsa tells her about the water throw. While they're on the plane, Marisol FaceTimes, and apparently Alexia and Todd are requesting an extension on their divorce because they can't make a decision yet. So this whole thing continues. Like, is this gonna be the whole season where they're just like, I don't know?
Yeah. Personally, I'm just gonna forget all the things that Alexia said about Todd and just pretend that didn't happen. All of those things she said, I'm not even gonna mention what she said, but I'm just accepting that she still loves Todd and he still loves her, and things are kind of complicated, I guess you'd say. And so whatever Alexia wants to do with Todd makes sense to me. I'm just going to pretend that I didn't know all that stuff that she said. That didn't happen.
No Todd slander on Turtle Time.
No, I mean, I know. We talked about the accusations against Todd. Now there's no accusations. It's just Alexia being like, don't talk about my husband like that. I'll defend this man for the life of me. Don't you, Stephanie, talk shit about my husband later in the episode. It's like, huh? What? I heard some horrible things about him. I heard some things that made me I couldn't believe what I was hearing about Todd. And now it's like that scene, you could just take that scene out and then all of these scenes would make sense with her now, continuing to talk about Todd. That scene makes no sense for this Todd and Alexia arc. But enough about that. Next scene, Lisa and Marisol. Marisol goes to Lisa's house. Lisa goes, let me get you your favorite cocktail that you love, Marisol, because Marisol, I guess, has a drink. I don't know what it is. She talks about drinking all of the time. Her cocky, I don't know what it is. What is it? A rum and Coke?
Well, later when the bartender knows it, it was like vodka with like oranges on the side or something.
And then she goes, but this has too much ice in it. This sucks or something.
She's
I was like,
it's chilling my organs.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you just called that guy out for giving you too much ice. He was so nice to you about it. Okay, Marisol gives flowers. Marisol gives flowers for Lisa. Lisa's dad has passed away. Yeah. Lisa didn't have a good relationship with her dad, but she did miss sort of a pivotal time of his journey towards death, the 3 or so days when he wasn't unconscious. She missed that part. She only got to him when he was already kind of 1 foot out the door, to put it, very horribly. Yes. And then this is when they start to talk about, first, Alexia's not there yet. So they talk about Todd again, a little bit of Todd stuff. He's draining the life out of her, Marisol says. Alexia is like a shell of herself. He's pulling all of her life force away from her. And then they tell Lisa what Larsa said. When she was talking about Miami. And this is when they start to talk about how unhinged Jody was, screaming. And that loud club, they couldn't even hear anybody else partying because Jody was screaming at the top of his lungs, and that kind of stuff.
They
about
said
Jody.
he was amped up, argumentative, and Lisa goes, Jody never raises his voice. Larsa is a liar and a manipulator, and they were like, she was like, what do you guys mean? You keep talking about his eyes. And then in her confessional, she goes, Jody has big, beautiful eyes. That's what I love about him. He looks like a Furby.
I know. That was amazing. And then they do this perfect blend of Jody and a big Furby doll next to him to show us what his eyes look like. We said, right, that his eyes don't look that odd besides the flash, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was weird because they were like, look at his eyes. But obviously the photo wasn't of him in an argument. So, like, they were trying to say that his eyes were bulging because he was enraged.
His eyes look like this. Go on YouTube. His eyes look like this. Like, they weren't that bad. Could you imagine if they saw Aaron's eyes on the Valley? No offense to him, but if they saw him on the red carpet and Jesse was talking to him about something, they'd be like, "Oh my God, what the hell is going on?" Just to summarize this scene, before we get to Larsa's end of it, Lisa says she was talking about me and my family while I was dealing with the death of my dad, which is horrible, the timing of it, which everyone agrees. And then she goes, I thought that was horrible, so I sent a photo to Larsa. And then Marisol goes, of what? And then Lisa shows the photo she sent to Larsa, and it's a photo of her dad in a coffin.
Corpse.
Her dad's corporeal form.
Iconic.
Oh my God, I've never in my life did I ever think that I would be witness to something like that. They blur it out. They're trying to be as respectful as they can, and Marisol has to summarize it. And Mary goes, oh my God, it's a photo of her dad in a coffin. Alexia is like, oh my God.
She falls over.
They go, she sent Pips a photo of her dead dad. Like, they can't believe that this is something that Lisa did. It's shocking. She goes, so I sent a photo of my dead dad. It's so wild. I could not believe that we got a scene like that. That's one for the canon of Housewives history, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Marisol is like, wait, Lisa, who told you about everything that we were saying or whatever? And she goes, I'm not a rat. I'm not going to tell. And it's a through line throughout. And I'm like, I don't care.
No, it doesn't even make any sense. I was going to say that. They go, who told you what happened at an all-cast event with only you missing? That a cast member poured water all over another cast member. Like, everyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Like, who gives a shit?
All of them? Like, you didn't tell us that there was some, truce that they all said, don't tell Lisa what happened here. It's like, obviously she's going to find out. They talk about it like 4 or 5 times. It makes no sense. And then Gertie, when they eventually show her, she just goes, I told her. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Of course Gertie can. Yeah, Gertie can tell Lisa that she got water poured on her. So that was a really dumb through line.
I was getting confused. I was like, am I missing something? Because this has no stakes whatsoever.
No, why would anyone keep that secret? What happened? It doesn't make any sense. And then this was kind of a Larsa tactic. Like, it was interesting to me. Larsa's like maybe more calculated than I imagined, but she's talking to that guy from the Milan fashion show. And he goes, don't even, he goes, I'll just start talking right now. What about Jody?
Yeah. I know the second that he came up on FaceTime, I was like, oh, here we go. Like, she needs backup.
Yeah. It was, whatever. It was an interesting tactic for Larsa to be like, well, I don't know what they're doing on their end, trying to accuse me of God knows what. I'm just going to get a principal on the phone to defend me. And the guy makes it sound even worse. He goes, the way he was screaming at you and the way Lisa had to stop him, like it was like,
I even told him that he cannot speak to women that way. And oh my God, his fucking eyes.
It was great validation. I mean, whether or not you believe him or take it with a grain of salt, it was amazing for Larsa to have like a confidant there to back up her side of things. I like that, because without it, I'd be like, I don't believe Larsa at all.
He's like, I'll say whatever you want.
Yeah, for sure.
They accuse Jody again of being a social climber. She's again saying like he's always in her business. Doesn't she want to keep her business and her relationship separately? And I'm like, maybe she doesn't.
Yeah, weak accusations. I gotta say,
Yeah.
1 out of 10. Like this is not going anywhere. He helps with her business. I mean, like we said, Lisa probably enjoys having him help her out.
It was like when Larsa was talking shit to her son. He was like, "Well, that's their business."
Yeah, that's great. And then that's it. And then we get a little, a scene with Kiki, and she's picking up her dad, who I remember she kind of has a horrible relationship with him. I believe, if I remember correctly, she was like kicked out of the house at like 15 when she started modeling.
Yeah.
Right. And so she has this horrible relationship with him, but now he is meeting her daughter. For the first time, and he's also kind of talking about his sort of family that is growing, and she has now a stepbrother, that is like 2 years old. 3 years old. So, and that was a new revelation for Kiki to hear in that car ride.
Her daughter, who's in the back seat, she was like, you have to meet your uncle and party with your uncle. And I was thinking of the Baldwins, how Ireland Baldwin's son or kid, all of those Baldwin kids are his aunts and uncles.
Oh my God, yeah. I was just thinking about the Baldwins too the other day. I want it back on so bad. I was having the time of my life watching the Baldwins. It really was like an oasis for me, just diving into that family.
Has Ilaria been on Dancing with the Stars?
No, I think
she should.
I think she'd be so.
She's too good.
She's too good. She's almost too good. No, she'd be great on that. She could do whatever she wants. I hope that they're already starting to film Baldwin season 2. I need to know what the hell is going on over there. Oh, please. I hope it wasn't canceled. That would be a horrible decision. All right, next.
Yes.
Stephanie, again, we get to meet her. We get to meet her in the context of seeing Marisol, Larsa, Julia. They all go to this kind of, was it a rooftop bar? Looks nice.
Marisol was like, this is clandestine. And Larsa was like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah. Marisol, again, we already talked about this, but the bartender knew her drink, and she goes, they know my cock. I can't believe I'm even saying this word because Marisol said it. Me too. It's so, I don't know who has told Marisol that is funny. This cockies thing. Like, stop it.
So bad.
Now. And then now it got to just my cock.
She goes, my cock has been around the world or whatever.
This whole drinking, I'm a drunk thing is so frustrating and annoying. It is not funny. Just be drunk like the rest of us and don't talk about it. We all like getting drunk. It's one of the coolest. Well, no, sorry, it's not one of the coolest things, but like it's fun. But don't talk about it like this, and
It's not a personality.
And cockies isn't happening. No one says it. I never have heard anyone ever say this before, and she's been saying it for 4 seasons now. So it's done. It's over. Marisol, please listen to us. And then we find out really quickly that Stephanie doesn't like children at all. She's repulsed by them. She thinks that they have a bunch of, I'll just say it, boogers that are going to get all over her Birkin bags. And Julia's kind of taken aback to hear that there's this person who just hates children, because Julia's in kind of a child era with her children.
Yeah. Larsa's like, she hates kids. She says that Birkins and boogers don't go together, which they named the title of this episode.
They loved what Stephanie said. I wish that they would have refrained from putting boogers in the title. Not my favorite thing. And then also they try to go, Stephanie, won't put any boogers on your bag. I'm going to just put it over here. And Stephanie goes, give that back to me. Kind of like Gollum with the ring in Lord of the Rings. She goes, Birkins should never be separated from their owners and no one should ever touch them. It's kind of, we're getting new Birkin etiquette that I would have never.
Rules.
Yeah, Birkin rules.
And Stephanie's like, oh my God, Julia, my husband loves your wife. We're obsessed with Martina. And then we get a little more background where she says she always dreamed of being filthy rich. She grew up on a farm and part-time, like in her childhood, like 3 months out of the year, she was in Colombia. So they were surprised to find that she had more like humble beginnings. But they show us her in the office and like having a fake meeting where she's like, we need to sell, always
Totally.
be closing. Let's roll. I'm a businesswoman.
Yeah, the Glengarry Glen Ross speech that Baldwin famously, his monologue. It was kind of like that.
Yes. And then you can tell she's ready to go. She's rearing to go because Alexia has not shown up. And they're like, this is weird. Like, she's never late. And Stephanie goes, can I tell you something? There's nothing I hate more than when someone is late. And I was like, all right, she's ready to pick a fight there.
Yeah,
and then later she picks a fight. Maybe she just has already chosen Alexia. I don't know if it turns out that they have history or something, but she kind of goes after her like 2 times in this episode.
Yeah. She said she only knew Alexia and Marisol going in, apart from Larsa. So I thought that they were going to be like friends or allies. But no, I think she felt comfortable enough to like poke at Alexia, because what she says about Todd later is like, what the hell are you doing? Right. Immediately. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And then, I was also going to say about the running late thing. It's like, that's great. Like, I appreciate that. I love time and know it can be late, but unfortunately, how long are you going to say that when you find out that every single cast member is late for every event forever, for the rest of your time here? Are you just going to keep saying that? Like, Lisa's never going to be on time for you. Larsa's never going to be on time for you. What can you do?
That was my first thought. I was like, this is not. And then in the preview for next week, they get in a fight about Lisa being late.
But it's just like, how long? I like it. Good to know, but it's not sustainable. Sorry, you can't control everybody's time, especially in this kind of environment. It's never going to happen. And then they go, why is Alexia running late? And they think that it's because she's been sleeping with Todd so much and having sex with him so much that she says she has a migraine, but they all accuse her of just sleeping in bed with Todd.
Yes. She replies that she has a migraine. She needs a mental break. She's feeling really drained. So, whatever it is. She claims at the next event that she swears she was not with Todd. She really had a migraine. So that's up to your judgment, everyone.
I say I'll give Alexia this win. I don't think she was with Todd making love to him. I think she had a migraine. We get to this baby shower. I got to give Adriana credit. I liked this baby shower. For all the boring events that you and I sit through, there's like, I would say 4 out of 10 of them will be horrible and boring. I think that Adriana did step it up. I mean, there was some sex questions game in there, which I didn't appreciate, but I liked, we'll go through it, but I liked the games that she did. I liked the environment that it was in. And I really do feel like Adriana said, you all had a stupid fake meltdown at that fake Marisol wedding party. I don't want any fighting here. And I felt like Adriana was trying to adhere to that. Not even a fake winky, I don't want any fights. I felt like she was like, don't talk about this here. Can't we just have a fun event that's not fake drama and conflict? So I felt like she almost adhered to that until the very end.
Yeah. If they had fun blue drinks, the environment looked fun. I think when Alexia shows up, she's like, I'm still figuring out what the hell is going on with Todd, but she goes, and by the way, Adriana, you caused a lot of this shit that's going on between us, because she's the one that leaked the rumor that they were having financial trouble, which I'm sure is part of why he wanted to get out of Dodge and not get bad PR.
I wish Turtle Time had been commenting on the early era of Todd. Oh my God, I would have gotten him out of so many scrapes. I would have said, what the hell is Adriana talking about? I would have said that scene with those boys was perfect. Like, the fan reaction to him is ridiculous, in my opinion. I feel so bad that he had his time on Miami sort of skewered by not me as one half of Turtle Time.
I'm going to make an image of you as a crusader, but your little flag has Todd on it.
Please do. And again, I reserve the right to change my mind if Todd does something despicable behind the scenes. Stephanie, then, we already talked about this. She goes up to Alexia and she goes, I don't give a shit if I don't know you or who the hell you are. God told us to take out the garbage, and we don't go back to the garbage dump because God already took out the trash.
Todd's in the can.
Todd's in the garbage. Todd's in the trash, and God took out the trash, and so you don't go back dumpster diving at all. And Alexia goes, my God. And she doesn't say it. She doesn't say it to her, but in the confessional, she goes, that was horrible. Only I can equate Todd with being a horrible narcissist, living garbage, not Stephanie. It was again.
It was bold.
It was bold. It was bold. I hope Alexia doesn't make too big of a meal out of it, but she can if she wants. I know she will. Who's gonna make the bigger meal out of something? Will it be Lisa or probably Alexia? Will definitely run with this. Gertie's in New York.
Yes. Alexia just says back to her, she goes, I just need to realize that on my own. Like, I have to come to that conclusion myself. And, but obviously she's offended and it will probably come up later. Adriana gives a speech. They show the boys, which they haven't yet. It was Luca and Jackson with an X, Jackson. Yeah. And they're little cuties. She, is a nice speech. She's just like, this is so wonderful what you're embarking upon, et cetera, et cetera. And they cheers. And then Alexia is like, can I say something? And Adriana's like, if you must. And then she sort of tries to like take over the hosting.
I know it was, don't get me started on Alexia, but I felt like it was so like insecurity had latched onto her brain, and she had so much jealousy that Adriana was getting camera time that she wanted to like one up her in the moment. And her speech was completely pointless, and just to talk about how she loves Julia more and better. And it was embarrassing. Yeah. And like, I just felt the desperate energy to try to have camera time from her. And I think that she's extremely jealous of Adriana. So they have this fight and everybody's just kind of like, what is going on? It reminded me a little bit of Ramona and Dorinda when they were having that like really tense argument in front of that person while they were giving that speech or whatever.
Like one of the worst moments.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very low level version of that, but I could just sense that like Alexia just like wanted the spotlight for a second and hated that Adriana had it. And then she just has to sit down, but they're holding the mic for a second where Alexia is still pulling it while Adriana has it in her hand. Which I thought
she tries to be like, thanks everyone for coming, as if she like threw the party, and she's like, no. So then they get into the games. I've heard of this poopy diaper game, of course. It's usually like different types of candy bars and you have to identify which one it was, but here she did like lentil like stew and like other nasty shit where I was like, that actually is gross.
Yeah, it was so gross. I think Lisa was in her cups, and Lisa pulled open her diaper and thought that there was actual baby shit in her thing, so she started having to go barf and run into a bathroom. And you're right, it was red lentils, green lentils, spinach, and each one had a different variation of baby shit in their diapers. I had never heard of this game before.
Oh, you haven't?
Ever. No.
I've only heard of candy bars. Like you would do, like you'd have to figure out that one was like a Baby Ruth or Baby Ruth? Is it Baby or Baby
I think
Ruth?
You're right. Baby Ruth. One would be
or
a butter.
Like because you would have to smell it.
That'd be so easy. Open up a diaper and a Kit Kat bar is in there. Kit Kat. Open up another bar, a Butterfinger.
Like as is.
That's a Butterfinger. Snickers is obviously the one that looks.
Reese's cup.
Yeah, it's like I recognize that. That's a Reese's cup. Reese Pieces. I didn't know about this one, but then Kiki is like red lentil beans, spinach, and it gets perfect. And then everybody else is sort of eating from these diapers and trying to get to the bottom of it. Only Lisa has that.
Lisa like barfs. She like remember on RHOM when they put like a fake bug in the cake and like everyone throws up.
Oh my God. Oh, of course I remember that. Who put the cockroach? That was a total Aaron Leachy, right?
Yeah, in Jenna's cake.
Yeah, that's canceled, right?
Oh God, I like already forgot their names. Like I don't even like know who they are anymore. I'm like, we're moving on.
I think it's canceled. I was gonna say I think that NextGen NYC should just become RHONY, and they just say, I don't know, Charlie's a full-time cast member. It doesn't make any sense, but this is RHONY now. It's so much better
Give
than
them the
RHONY.
apples.
Oh my god, it is so much better than RHONY already. 3 episodes in, I would just rebrand it if I were them. It's like just start fresh. Okay, there's a bunch of shit in these diapers. Oh, I loved what Lisa says. I think this was my second favorite Lisa iconic moment. She goes, I think someone shit in this diaper and gave it to me. I think it's Larsa. She wants me to eat her shit. And for some reason, the way that Lisa says anything is like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Just the fact that she says something so like bland like that, but she's talking
insane. It's like she's so weird.
She really is. I mean, I don't. She is so amazing to me. There was one. Marisol just got a bunch of mustard in hers. Anyway, okay. Then let's not talk about sex questions game. Who can twerk the longest? Martina goes, when they go, who can twerk for 30 seconds? Martina goes, thank God I didn't get that one.
Martina, talk about low energy. She's always just like, indeed.
Yeah, but you can tell that Martina's, yeah, she does. Yeah. You can tell she's having fun, though, at this party. It's like, if you wanted a fun party, like the threesome talk, baby shit, diaper roundup, this was this is probably, the best version of a baby shower that you can have. It's not boring.
Yeah. Right.
Lisa gets in her cups major again after she comes back, and she commits a faux pas with Stephanie. Stephanie goes, I'm going to run with this to my grave. She goes, you just said, Lisa says to Stephanie, I wanted rich friends. I heard how rich you were. You're rich. I want only friends with yachts and jets.
I love
rich. Money. I wish my friends had money. I heard about all your money. And Stephanie goes, she goes, oh dear. She goes, I don't like when people talk about money like that. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
People can say that. I would say that if I was drunk. I would say, I want a rich friend. I want to be on a yacht. Who cares? That's not a big deal.
Yeah, she's like, I've been searching for people that have jets and yachts, so you are right up my alley.
Yeah, and she goes, I was aghast, Stephanie says.
I would at least try and charm her first and then, get the invite.
I would have said that. I would have said, I want friends with jets and yachts. I would have said, I'm looking for a rich friend. You sound like that. I love friends with jets and yachts. And then, and then they go again. We don't have to talk about this, but they go, who was the rat at Marisol's wedding? What's that called? Post-wedding party?
Yeah.
Post-wedding.
Wedding celebration.
And Kiki goes, I found out the answer. It's not interesting at all. Gertie told me right to my face that she told Lisa. And it's like, okay, it doesn't matter.
Right. They're like, cool. But then it like still gets all fired up, and Adriana's like, no, why are we talking about this? I told you, no drama. Lisa gets upset. She's like, my dad hasn't been in the ground but a week, and everyone's attacking me. Like, this is horrible. And they're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, and then she goes, so she gets to have this. She heard that they're still talking about the Larsa thing, and then she goes, I didn't want to make this about me, but I'm so upset. I just buried my dad. I don't want to make this about me. And then she gets up and very dramatically is leaving and kind of like twirling around as loud as she can into the whole void and saying, I don't want to make this about me. I don't want to make this about me. But it has to be about her because all of the energy is around her at that point as she is leaving and crying and talking about her dead dad. So then people get up from the table to like comfort her. They know the energy is going towards Lisa, and that's kind of how it ends. She ends up disrupting the party, contrary to what Adriana wanted to happen. She keeps saying, why the fuck are you bringing this stuff up? I wanted a nice baby shower. So it ends in sort of that chaotic moment.
Yes. It didn't seem like there was anything really major in the coming attraction. I pretty much only remember that Stephanie gets mad at Lisa for being late. That's all I saw.
Alexia looks at a sign and it says like people will waste your time for all of your life, but if you marry them, you're the time waster. And she goes, oh my God, she's saying to herself, that's about Todd. Yeah. And then I think that was it. It's like someone's going to be late. And so we'll see. I mean, I thought this episode had the scene where Lisa sends a photo of her father to Larsa, as abhorrent as that is. It was something I've never seen in my life before. And then Adriana gets credit for the baby shower. But again, we're not out of the woods yet on Miami. Is it worth having a full Turtle Time episode dedicated to Miami? We'll see. We'll look at the metrics, see how this one does.
This 4th of July Miami episode.
It'll have the worst numbers we've ever had in our life.
That's how dedicated we are to you. We did it anyway.
Our schedule makes absolutely no sense, but that's for another time. I have regret filling my body. Was that Janet stuff okay? I'm sorry.
You defended her honor.
Good. All right. Yeah. I hope that wasn't too horrible and you weren't turned off by that, everybody. Okay. Amy and I have done what we set out to do. We talked about 20 minutes of news. I didn't say this at the top when Madison, just to bring it back up, Madison unleashed a non-emoji baby to the world. I wanted to give her a lot of credit. Kristen just unveiled the emoji ban lifted on Kristen's baby.
It was a People Mag exclusive.
People Mag, we got that full, nice peek at Kristen's baby's face on Us Weekly. The emoji is off forever. So, I'm sorry. Was it what you said?
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm sorry. It might have been People. And then Madison said, emojis be damned. This baby, Teddy, isn't even having emoji, not even a heart or the baby emoji on her face. So I thought that was kind of a nice, way to just...
She even gave her hospital visit an Amazon Live.
Wow. Oh my God. Madison is pioneering a new way for Bravo celebrities to do stuff. So
Amazon Live must really pay because people really do that.
Do you think
people be doing that?
I know. My question: will they let Turtle Time do it?
We're like, it'll guarantee you 35 views.
What do we have to do? Sell Amazon stuff? Oh my God, I would love to do that.
Yeah, I never actually watch them. I always just hear about them later because things are revealed. I think they're just like answering questions as they go, and then maybe they're talking about shit they bought on Amazon too.
But you could buy so much on Amazon. I'd be like, I can't wait to get a Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 2, and then would they give me one, or people donate money?
Mine would be so random. I'd be like, I bought Velcro for a little project I'm doing and a gua sha.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, mine would be, I buy almost everything on Amazon. I mean, sorry to say that about myself, but I buy random stuff too. But maybe people give you money and they sponsor you buying Amazon stuff.
Well, I mean, we're telling you all out there, if you're at Amazon, we'll do it. Yeah. Even though,
Okay, so we completed our mission. News, recap of Miami. Now, please, don't use this episode as your guide, but review the entire history of Turtle Time. Review us on Apple Podcasts. I got to see a new review there. The last one I couldn't even look at. It said, "This man sucks." It said, "This man sucks and has no idea what he's talking about." The YouTube comments are getting mean. I don't know what's going on over there. Oh, it's someone said a mean comment about me and my relationship to cinema, and then there's mean stuff going on. Spotify.
Denis Villeneuve logged on.
Yes. Yep. And then Spotify and Villa Rosa VIPs. You continue doing your beautiful sanctuary comments. Spotify has been really doing great, and then Villa Rosa VIPs, obviously, bar none, the most beautiful comments we could ever receive. Amy and I are going to go enjoy our long 4th of July weekend. We hope you have an amazing 4th of July. We hope you put this on while you're barbecuing with your friends.
Yeah,
having a couple beers.
The 1-year anniversary of the Hub Cub announcement.
Oh my God, think about that today when Lindsay announced Hub Cub. So have a wonderful weekend, and then Amy and I will be back Monday for our Patreon episode. Join us there if you'd like, $5 a month, and then 2 episodes next week. You'll be so happy with Turtle Time. Just give us a little bit of time to get things in order. Goodbye.
Bye.